Hey,
In other
friends.
words, this is to
What
have
I'm doing here
higher
is
training in concentration.
removing
These
the
would be
the small roller
an
bearings
instructor should be
that
able to
are in the
access
intake manifold of our S4 manifolds,
which is undefiled.
and
Now-
also
Immediately in this list, what we see is that the instructor needs to have practical experience.
in the MAF sensor, MAF, Mike Alpha Foxtrot sensor, which is this for the S4. Earlier models looked a lot different than this one, but there's bearings in here
You cannot teach
um,
someone how to
that
do
need
something
that will need to come out. They're right here along this shaft where the butterfly is,
must have the
and I'm going to pull those out here in a moment. Out of my own personal MAF sensor. Let me grab it
more
real quick.
accomplished than others. Each of us in our own way is a teacher already, whether we realize it or not. And we can all teach at our level. But from the point of view of the student, when you're looking for these qualities in your instructor, they
My
have
own
these
personal
qualities a little
MAF sensor,
not perfect.
I forgot to pull the bearings out
At least they have a little
when
more
I blasted
experience
this,
from which you
and
from which you can draw.
left them in there and blasted with them in there. I just pulled them out.
The third,
And these are the bearings right here from my MAF sensor. Doesn't hurt to leave them in there to blast, but it doesn't hurt to take them out either. So
this is to have a mind.
and there it is, right there.
To have experience that
If the tool will stay
the
from
eye
falling apart, and there it is right here, folks.
this instructor
Not sure if you
should
can
have
see it
experience and
properly,
understanding of the doctrine of
but
the that doesn't mean that all of their activities will be egoless. We all have ego. But when discussing the nature of influence, when discussing the nature of the abstract, they should at least have an appreciation for that, or respect for that.
this is called a blind hole puller.
Is to have knowledge exceeding the student. But this is not intellectual knowledge.
It's weird.
It's not book study.
1/2 inch is too small to go on
We're
here.
not talking about the doctrine
9/16 is too big. 13 millimeter is too small. 14 millimeter is too big. So I have to use adjustable wrenches on that. Very strange. So here it is, the
intuitive experience.
bearing after it was pulled off.
You may
and-
at some point enter into a school.
This intake manifold that belongs to a customer named Ted
and see a teacher-student relationship.
is now
Student is able to quote the
free of all its bearings,
scriptures,
free of its
at length
butterfly valve that was inside of it,
from the doctrine.
and it's packaged up in a bag. And now I'm going to pull apart
That doesn't
his
mean
MAF
it's
sensor,
less than the student.
take all this stuff off, that butterfly, this spring mechanism right here, and put it in another bag, and then put that bag inside this bag right here. Send it back to him when I get this manifold done
Knowledge to experience.
with the media blasting and then also the powder coating, which I'm not quite sure what color he wants to go with. I'm going to clarify that with him.
Explain
And I've got another manifold on its way,
to explain
S4, next week. And I want to capture these numbers, of course, because I'm not going to mix them up.
knowledge.
And if the numbers happen to be the same on the side covers and the intake manifold, I'll identify them to the respective owner so we don't get any confusion. Because I know people want their same stuff back, which I would very much want my same stuff back. So I get it. So this is now almost ready to blast. I've got to dig it out, dig out some of the stuff in the runners. This is an S4 manifold, so it's going to be very clean and very quick and easy to clean up compared to the GTS manifold. One thing underneath it that you have to remember when you remove the mechanism from the bottom, that 22 millimeter set bolt, set screw, you have to turn it just about 2 millimeters to allow the mechanism to come out. So when you reinstall it, you have to turn this back 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters, so the edge of the hexagon or the pentagon or hexagon shape bolt will cover up the mechanism to keep it from releasing. And this is the mechanism right here. It just kind of helps keep that in place, along with those circlips right there on the top side. So this is the first stage right here, folks, of doing the Porsche 928 intake manifold refresh operations. And this tool I built a couple years ago has come in very, very, very handy to do this, to make it really quick, easy, good, and give you your manifold the best results possible, you know, for what I'm doing. So there it is. Take care, folks. Cheers.
So a novice instructor should not do that.
If I can shut it off.
Therefore, the novice instructor should not.
Hey friends, what I'm doing here now on the S4 intake that a guy named Ted sent to me, I've done many of these intake manifolds, so I know where to burn off the coatings and where the coatings are most thick on these items. And I'm doing this one-handed, talking, trying to focus and make sure the camera is capturing some of the needed areas to capture to make a video that's decent. So underneath the manifold right here, as you can tell, I'm burning this off a bit. Now I take a probing tool and just get some of this crusty stuff off.
Even though countless ages passed,
You can see this is what it looks like. Now what I have to do is I have to get areas in the end of a channel, meaning that the blasting media cavitates in these areas right in here. It cavitates, so it doesn't really dig in. The media will dig in here very well, and it will flow down in here and dig in on the deflection, on the areas of deflection, like right here. Shoot it here, hits here, bounces over here. Those three areas get clean, but if I aim it straight into here, it just cavitates, it doesn't do anything. It just turns and turns and turns. So I get no good yield on it. So what I have to do is I come in here with a torch and just dig in some of these areas, like up in here, and let me burn that. Actually, the camera picks it up better than my naked eye does.
All of your senses turned away from the person. But when they look at you, when they pay attention to you, you can feel it.
I'm going to try to get in here quickly. Scrape some of that off. See, it just came off in a big chunk. Now, in a GTS manifold, this is a big, big process and a necessary process to do this, because the GTS manifolds take a lot more time, effort to clean and get the coatings off. S4 is relatively easy compared to the GTS manifold. Should start burning off. This piece right here is being exceptionally stubborn. It should have started to bubble up by now, but it's not.
say that consciousness does not die,
Maybe I can
we need to understand
get it.
how does this relate to this?
Yeah, it's coming up a little bit.
There's a great teaching about death and life that can help us alive. And we try to understand if life, the energy of consciousness cannot die.
Yeah, it's about as good as it's gonna get.
This life, previous or subsequent life. We can accept the scientific fact.
An area like this,
Consciousness.
I need to get.
Cannot be destroyed. What happens to it is done.
See, sometimes I can chip it out just like that, and sometimes the probing action of a tool, like I'm using right here, will do more than the blasting process does. Sometimes the blasting process just doesn't do anything. I have to prompt it to come apart now in this stage before I dig into the other stages, or before I get in there and start blasting. So it's actually pretty good. Turn this around. Inside of the S4 manifold, these come off, these clean up really well. And I'm going to show you right now just the inside part. Coating's very thin in here. So that's about it, folks. That's how we clean up S4/GTS Porsche 928 intake manifold prior to media blasting. Okay, cheers.